Ancient Greece, the birthplace of democracy, philosophy, and the Olympics, the land of great thinkers, sculptors, and heroes. A shining beacon of art, science, and logic. The civilization that gave us Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and geometry homework we still can't solve. But what if I told you that behind the marble temples and majestic togas, things weren't so perfect? What if the same people who invented democracy also invented tasting earwax for medical diagnosis? Yeah. Welcome to Chronicles of the Past, where we uncover the strange, dark, and downright gross secrets of history your teachers definitely skipped. Today, we're diving into the creepiest and most disgusting parts of ancient Greece, a world filled with sweat potions, stone toilet paper, and medical advice that will make your skin crawl. Let's just say, after this video, you'll never look at Greek statues the same way again. Imagine you're sick in ancient Greece. You've got a fever, chills, maybe a bad cough. You head to your local physician expecting herbs or a soothing prayer to Apollo. Instead, the doctor leans in, sticks his finger in your ear, scoops out some wax, and tastes it. Yeah, you heard that right. He tastes it. That's not a nightmare. That was medicine. Greek physicians believed that the taste of bodily fluids revealed the secrets of disease. So, yes, earwax, blood, even urine, all were fair game for diagnosis. And who came up with this? None other than Hippocrates, the so-called father of modern medicine. The same man modern doctors swear oaths by today. If your doctor ever says, "I'm inspired by Hippocrates," maybe ask how inspired. In fairness, it wasn't all nonsense. He was one of the first to realize that illness wasn't caused by angry gods, but by imbalances in the body, what he called the four humors. The problem is, his way of testing those humors was, well, hands-on, or rather tongue-on. So yes, the same civilization that built the Parthenon also thought your earwax was a diagnostic tool. Modern medicine, thankfully, has replaced the taste test with something a bit more sterile. Though a urine sample suddenly doesn't sound so bad anymore, does it? Now let's move on to sports, because if you think modern athletes are extreme, wait till you meet a Greek Olympian. Athletics in ancient Greece were sacred. They were competitions dedicated to the gods themselves. But the athletes competed completely naked. They'd rub themselves with olive oil before every event, partly to protect their skin and partly to show off those perfectly sculpted physiques. And after hours of wrestling, running, and throwing, they were covered in a thick film of oil, dust, and sweat. Enter the gloios collectors. These unfortunate souls had the job of scraping all that gunk off athletes' bodies using curved metal tools called strigils. And here's where it gets really disturbing. Instead of throwing it away, they bottled it and sold it as medicine. That's right. Jars of athlete grease, a mix of oil, sweat, and dirt, were sold to the public as an elixir of vitality. People actually rubbed it on themselves, hoping it would cure pain, make them faster, or just make them feel like winners. So the next time someone tries to sell you a miracle detox product, remember, at least it's not Olympian sweat in a jar. During the pandemic, people hoarded toilet paper, but in ancient Greece, they hoarded rocks. No, seriously, there was no toilet paper back then. So instead, Greeks used smooth stones or bits of broken pottery to clean themselves. They'd keep a pile next to the toilet, which, by the way, was often just a hole in the ground, and scrape themselves clean. They even had a proverb, 3 stones are enough to wipe. 3 stones! I'm not sure that's enough to clean anything, let alone your dignity. And here's the twisted part. If a Greek person really hated someone, they'd carve that person's name into one of the pottery shards before using it. So yes, they literally wiped themselves with the names of their enemies. Revenge, ancient Greek style. Petty? Definitely. Creative? Absolutely. Being sick in ancient Greece was bad enough. But being a woman? That was practically a medical curse. Greek doctors believed a woman's womb could wander around her body, causing disease, hysteria, or even suffocation. Their cure? smear animal dung on her skin to scare the womb back into place. Yes, cow poop. Medical grade, ancient Greek cow poop. They also believed that women needed to expel impurities regularly, so female patients were sometimes prescribed disgusting concoctions involving vinegar, smoke, and even animal parts. And one doctor, Serenus, came up with a birth control plan so absurd it belongs in a comedy sketch. He told women to sneeze, squat, and rinse immediately after sex to avoid pregnancy. Oh, and just in case, rub honey or tree resin on your body before doing the deed. You know what? Maybe it worked, because nothing kills the mood faster than honey-coated birth control. But even if you avoided the doctors, life wasn't much easier for women in Greece. Most girls were married off between the ages of 12 and 14, barely teenagers, to men who were twice or even 3 times their age. That's not romance. That's a midlife crisis with a wedding ring. Marriage wasn't about love. It was business. The girl moved straight from her father's house to her husband's, with no freedom, no education, and no say in her own life. While men debated philosophy in the public square, women were expected to stay silent, stay indoors, and raise children. The civilization that gave us democracy forgot to include half the population in it. So much for the golden age, huh? All right, let's move to something truly bizarre, and honestly, kind of hilarious. Once a year, the people of Athens would gather to celebrate Dionysus, the god of wine, theater, and fertility. And how did they honor him? With giant phallic parades, men and women would march through the streets holding enormous wooden phalluses, singing songs about male anatomy, making obscene jokes, and drinking themselves into oblivion. According to Aristotle, yes, that Aristotle, these festivals were actually the birthplace of comedic theater. So next time you watch a sitcom, just remember, all of modern comedy started with drunk Greeks waving giant wooden body parts. Thanks, Greece. Truly the gift that keeps on giving. But if you think that's weird, wait until you hear about the Greeks' obsession with death and prophecy. They believed the dead could communicate from the underworld. People actually visited necropolis, or cities of the dead, where they'd descend into tunnels to speak with spirits. And they had priests, whose job was to help them do it. But the creepiest spiritual figure of all was the Oracle of Delphi, a woman believed to speak directly for the god Apollo. She'd sit above a deep fissure in the temple floor, inhaling strange vapors that made her enter a trance. Modern scientists discovered that those vapors were actually ethylene gas, a hallucinogenic chemical that caused euphoria and visions. So, yeah, the most famous prophecies of the ancient world were basically the result of divine fumes. Imagine walking days across Greece just to be told your future by someone who's tripping on volcanic gas. So there you have it, the side of ancient Greece your history books never dared to show you. From earwax doctors to athlete sweat, stone toilet paper, and fertility parades, it's clear that even the most brilliant civilization can have some seriously disgusting habits. Maybe that's what makes history so fascinating. The reminder that behind all the marble and mythology were real people. Messy, creative, and just as strange as we are today. So what do you think? Did ancient Greece just get a bad rap? Or were they truly the weirdest of the ancient world? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed uncovering the gross and hilarious truths of the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more episodes. This has been Chronicles of the Past, reminding you that the glory days of civilization weren't always that glorious. See you next time, if you can stomach it.